this particular bolt and nut. So let's start with that. Now if it's third angle projection, of course it's gonna be, this is gonna be, the pan is gonna be on top, this is gonna be the front, and this is gonna be the end view. And the end view and the plan will basically be very similar, just different orientations. So we're gonna leave out that plan for now. So we're gonna look at one and we're gonna look at two and we're gonna start to draw that. And then we're also gonna construct the lock nut after. Awesome. So I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna just go across here, and then I'm gonna go L enter, and I'm just gonna start off by going into construction, L enter, and we're gonna start by defining that inner circle. So we're gonna start with constructing, sorry, the knot first. Sorry, my mind was wandering. Let's do it. So we're gonna start off by drawing this hexagon, and we're gonna pull the dimensions across in order to construct everything else. We're gonna use this as the guide, and you could use this whether or not you're constructing your nuts and bolts. So we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down for a couple. We're gonna go Atlanta. We're gonna go across. Basically, we're always gonna be starting at this same way, using one part or one center point in order to construct everything else. Now once we do this, we have the center point, and now what we're gonna draw is we're actually gonna start by drawing the, it's a M10 bolt. So we're gonna start by doing that M10 part. So since it's radius 10, we're gonna go, the metric that we're using is actually millimeters, so we're gonna go M5. Right, so we're gonna go 5 radius, right, which means is 10 diameter. Nice. Now once we have this, now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go 1.5, if I remember. No, we will make a video where we go over nuts and bolts, but now we're gonna go 5. We're gonna go circle again, and then we're gonna go 1.5. So if 1.5 times the diameter, so if it's 10, then we're gonna go 15. Sorry, not 15. It's actually gonna be 7.5, which would give us 15 for the diameter. And just so we know it's real, I'm just going to grab the diameter for this, pull it out here. I'm also going to grab the diameter for this and pull it out here. So we have 10 and 15. Now what we're going to do is we're going to construct that hexagon. So C enter, sorry, poly, P-O-L-Y, and we're just gonna do it the using, right, so we're gonna find the center point for our object, enter number of sides 6, find the center point, and it's, yes, it's gonna be circumscribed, meaning it's gonna be about the circumference of the circle. And for the orientation, we're just gonna put it across where we actually have it on the quadrant, so that each face just touches there. Nice. Now once we have it like this, we know that we have the outer part of the hexagon using the formula, which is the 1.5 times the diameter, and then we have this inner part here, and now we want to do the threading, so we're going to go offset, enter. And what I would recommend is for more smaller end stuff, you can actually just use 1 millimeter offset and pull that in. Nice. So again, this is the approximate method. So once we have that 1 millimeter, the next thing for us to do is actually take our projection lines and pull it across. Now before we do the projection lines, I just want to, since you know I like to conserve space on my drawing, I'm going to go across 10, just going to put that line between the two of them. Awesome. And then from here, I'm going to continue, drawing. Alright, so I'm just gonna pull the line, pull my projection lines across. I'm probably gonna go across like, it has a good length, so I'm just gonna go across like 1 something, and we'll adjust it to suit. COPY. Now you know me, I'm gonna copy it from the base point and I'm just gonna put it here. I'm also going to extend this here. I'm gonna extend this here, just getting those critical points in there. I'm also gonna do this one, this one, this one, and this one. Nice. But however, when it comes down to the points of the hexagon, because I know I'm going to be working with those and I don't want to get it confused with the others, I'm just going to change the color of the line to orange one time. Very close, but it's an orange. Awesome. So on the, if you look at it, let's see if we can find it. Now if you look at it, we would have done this part, we would have done the offset, right? And I would have offset it to the inside, and yeah, so I would have offset it in. This appears to actually be, so one is in, one is out because it's threading that we're doing. So one is actually supposed to be in, one is actually supposed to be out. All right. We're gonna go over and we're gonna look at that. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the 52 and the 67, and we're gonna go 67 from this point. We're gonna come across here, and then we're gonna go 30. We're gonna construct this, and then we're gonna finish up the object. Now, since we're doing this and we're looking at, let's just say this is not the bolt, this is the actual, sorry, this is not the nut, this is the actual bolt, sorry. We're going to take it outward. We're going to take that one, the one that we would have taken, we're going to take it outward, right, to just accommodate for that threading, and then for this one here, we're going to take it inward for the threading as well. Nice. So we're gonna go back. I'm just gonna look at what we did, and this one would actually be the 10. So let's put that in main object outline one time, and then this one here is actually going to be the, well, 1 and 2, and we're going to put this in main object outline one time as well. Nice. So this, and then we have this on the outside, which is the 15. That got that 15 there for the sorry, this one is 15. This one is supposed to be, let me see how much this one is. This one is actually 10. So we want to just switch this. Let me switch this back to the, where's the construction? Yeah, so in fact I'm going to remove this inner one, and then I'm going to look at this M10. It's Ctrl C, Ctrl C. Yeah, this one here is going to be, sorry, I just needed it for reference. This one's going to be that. This one on the inside is actually going to be like this. Nice. So once we have this here, this one is the internal trend. So one is going to be the highest, one is going to be the lowest. We're gonna just go across to this for now. If there's any corrections to be made, we'll come back and make the corrections for that particular part. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure that amount that we were talking about prior, which was the 67, and then we're gonna start with the 30. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna go add enter, we're gonna grab it from, we're gonna go construction, add enter, we're gonna go the 67 across, 67. Then we're gonna go down, we're gonna hit here, we're gonna measure from here, we're gonna go across, and then we're gonna go across with 30, 30 enter, and then we're gonna go down, so we know that this length is 30, then we go down into the object. Awesome. So since this is 30, this is going to be the furthest part, and this is where we're actually going to start the hexagonal part of it. Now for the formula, we know that we have to do the arc or the curve right here, so we're going to take the center point, I'll enter. Yeah, so we're gonna take the center point. Sorry, we're gonna go L enter. We're gonna come just in, and we're gonna use the formula. So it's gonna be 1.5D, and we know that since we're dealing with it, it's actually gonna be 15. And we're gonna come here, and then we're gonna take the center start end, and we're just gonna come out this, and we're gonna go the same 15, 1, 5, enter. I'm gonna take an arc that basically cuts the hexagonal points. And we know that those hexagonal points are in orange because you would have labeled it. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the construction line, come at that point, and just simply mark off where those critical points are. Yeah, awesome. Now once we do that, we basically know how far the object is gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and tr enter enter. We're gonna go ahead and clean this up so that we don't get confused. And then what we're gonna look at is, and I want you to follow me here, we're gonna do right where this meets, we're gonna do a construction line because we're gonna need the center point, and I'm gonna then grab a 3 point. We're gonna go one here. No, wait, oh, nice. So again, point to take in, delete, delete. I'm gonna be very careful, and I want you to be very careful when you put your line. So the line is actually supposed to be where this point right here. Now my AutoCAD is basically just, let me see if I can RAGEN back and enter. Right, so my AutoCAD is snapping at this particular point here. That's okay, it's interpreting the circle as being along this line, so I'm going to continue going along with that. But you want to make sure that the points that you're using is exactly on that intersection point. So then I'm going to go 3 point arc. I'm sorry, I'm going to get the center, so I have to go from here to this end here, so that I have that center 3 point arc. I'm going to take it from here, grab it in the middle along here, and then end it off here. Nice. And what that tells us is, from this perspective, the middle still occurs in the center of this distance going up, so that's where you're going to take it from for this method. So you're just gonna, again, you're just gonna L enter, you're just gonna grab it coming down, you're just gonna hold it about here, and then you're going to hold the line, or you're going to draw the line, find that midpoint, touch it, and then nice. And then once you have this, these three now, these are actually going to be your lines. And now what I want you to look at is, I want you to look at exactly where the top of this is. I want you to follow that along here, and then the next thing that you're going to do for me is you're going to go L enter, and you're going to just draw that line coming from this point to here. And if you would have done your construction correctly, this would be approximately 30 degrees. Right, approximately 30 degrees. All right, the now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna solidify those lines as your main object outline, because we just wanna start to begin to see the object coming through. So we hold this one, we're gonna hold this one. We will trim our arc and do our arc just now, but let's go ahead and do that outline. Nice. So it's coming along. I'm gonna go switch to the outline. I'll enter, grab this, throw this up here. Once we have that there, we could go ahead and convert this one as well, outline. Now we know the center point is, we could either do a trim, we could trim it, tr enter. So we're gonna 1 2 3 4, so that we have it right there. Then we're gonna go 1 2 3, and last but not least, this one here. We're gonna click this. We're actually just gonna do that in the outline, and then we should have the top of our knot. Now the thing about it is we will then, since we know it's going straight through the object, we're then gonna grab this, and then we're gonna pull this down to this particular point. Then we're gonna go back up. But there's something that we need to do um, right here. So I'm gonna Control C. I'm just gonna back out of that. Make sure I have everything. Nice. So there's something that we need to do here, and I'm gonna reference it on our drawing piece right here. Nice. So there is a notch in our. It's actually going to be a notch in our what we're going to be drawing, and the notch occurs right at this particular point right here. Yeah, there's going to be a notch, and that's simply because where there's a hole actually passing through the object at this point, and the hole is actually going to be of 8. I believe it's 8. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so it's going to be 8 diameter. So let's go back to our plan, and let's see if we could put that in. So it's going to be 8 diameters. So what are you going to do? You're going to switch across to your construction line. You're going to go L enter. You're going to go 4 across because it's 8 diameter. Then you're going to go down. You're going to cut that object. Then you're going to go L enter. You're going to go 4 across again, and then you're going to go perpendicularly down. Once you have this, you could simply switch across to your hidden details, L enter. Then you're gonna grab this, you're gonna put it down. Then you're gonna do L enter for the other one. Grab it at this intersection point. Then you're simply just going to put it down here. Awesome. Once you have this, what I want you to do is I want you to grab back that projection line, or any line that you're going to be using for your projection. I want you to just simply pull it across right here. Alright, and you're going to do that again for the bottom half of it, and we're going to figure out why we're doing that in a bit. Now if you watch the construction, if we watch the construction, we know that the thickness, especially for our bolt, we know that the thickness is basically 0.8 of the diameter. And if it is that we're going with 0.8 of the diameter, let me just pull this here. Construction. It's gonna be, if it's M10, then it's gonna be 8 across. So I'm gonna go 8, and then I'm gonna go down, and then since it's 8 diameter, it's gonna go from here to another 8, and then it's gonna go down again. So here we would have marked off the particular measurements for the 8 diameter. And since, just so that you know why we're doing it, right, we have the 8 diameter here, and we're using this particular head as a regular nut, as a regular bolt head dimension, which is 0.8 of the diameter. So we took the 0.8, and then what we're going to do now is we're just going to follow through. So now that particular notch comes into play, and the reason why it comes into play is simply because if we look here, we know that the notch now, if a circle was supposed to be bored in between, it would be, the points that it will show on the surface will actually be at this point here and this particular point right here. So now since we pull this line across, we know that our arc is not supposed to go beyond that particular point. So I'm going to go 3-point arc. I'm going to grab the center here, and I'm going to come down to this line, and I'm going to just arc it up. And the same thing would actually apply for this side. I'm going to grab it from here. I'm just going to get the center point, and I'm just going to put that there. And now we would have completed a very big part of it. Here can go in hidden details. Right, and then I'm going to just solidify the rest of the drawing in main object outline. I'll enter. So we're just gonna, main object outline. Nice. I'll enter. Just gonna grab this. We're gonna put it across to this part. I'll enter. Remember, it's hidden, so we don't have to stop there. Nice. I'll enter, and then we're gonna come from here. We're just gonna hit here. I'll enter this from here, right? And we would have it here as well. Nice, and this comes up here. Same thing for this part here, and we hit right here. And these two curves here, we can just convert it to the outline. And, nice. So this basically looks like what we would have had plus the 8 in the center. And now we're gonna actually do this inner part here. Nice. So we're gonna come for this part of the example, and no, we're not going to go in solid line, but we're actually just going to do it in construction. We're going to look at the length of the threading, how long the threading is going to go back for, and it says that it's 52. So I'm just going to come here. I'm going to come at the point where it's supposed to be at. So we're going to look at it at this point here. We're going to look at 52, and then we're going to go down. Nice. So we know that all of that is going to occur between this line and this line. Okay, so the red lines here. So now I'm just simply going to go L enter. I'm going to take 45 degrees, which is tab 135 tab. I'm just going to cut this line here. Wait, Control Z, tab 135 to get that 45-degree line. I'm just going to cut it here. Nice. We're going to L enter. We're going to grab it from this line. In fact, we don't even have to grab it from that. We're going to go TR enter enter. We're going to trim it. Make sure it's nice and neat. Then we're going to do it from this line as well. We're going to go tab 135 tab, and then we're just going to intersect, TR enter enter, trim it. Nice. So if you want to just find an intersection, you could change your snap to a parent intersection and it should be good. And for this part of it now, I'm going to do the exact same thing. We're going to grab that tab 135 tab. We're going to grab that apparent intersection right there. I'll enter. I'm going to pull it down to about like here, and that should be 45 degrees there as well. TR and enter. Nice. And once we do this is what we're gonna do for that main object outline. So we're gonna switch across to main object outline. We're gonna go L enter. We're gonna grab that base, that 45-degree line. We're gonna send it all the way up to here. Nice. Same thing. L enter. We're gonna grab that base, we're gonna send it up here, and then we're gonna send it all the way back here. Nice. Now once we have this, we're simply just gonna put the line across for the tip, and then we're gonna grab L enter, we're gonna grab it from here, send it up, and then send it for the 45-degree. Inversely, we're gonna grab it here, and they're gonna send it back to right here. Awesome. And now that we have this, oops, one more, I'll enter. This would be the approximate construction for our bolt. Now, like I said, if it is how we were supposed to do the third angle projection or complete the projection, it's basically this is going to be vertical and slightly rotated so that the center here will be replicated there. Awesome. Now we don't have to do that part, so we're just gonna forego that unless we need it. If it is that we need, we could always come back and do it. So I'm gonna wait, let me see if I can get my dimensions down on this. Well, I don't need my dimensions because we have the particular construction. The horizontal ones is what I need. So we could get from this point to this point, which would be 67. Nice. And then we could also get from this point to this point. Nope. This point right here. It's not snapping. This point, which would be the 52. Awesome. Then we're gonna grab this. We could actually clean this up a bit by just shortening this center line just a little bit. Nice. And this one here we can actually just TR and then so we just trim this one here and here. Nice. We're gonna grab this, we're gonna move it, and we're just gonna rest it right here.